Put your clay down. So just because you're sitting here, you got to still be watching and not playing. Kyle. Dylan.
Done. Stop.
Away. Thank you. Okay. So you're going to kind of hit it so it's flat. It'll make it easier to roll. Remember, you can use this one or the wood one. Kind of, but we're doing triangles today. But it is going to be the 1/4 of an inch
3 by
thick.
3.
Right.
Still 3 by 3.
No,
It's gonna be 3 by 6.
it's a triangle. Yesterday we did squares, so they're very different.
Mrs. Botcher,
Mhm.
so for that you don't, for when you have to pound it, you don't have to do the sides.
You can use my clay.
Nope, you're just doing the top and the bottom.
Okay. Does it have to be squishy?
No, we're doing triangles,
Is it
which is a triangle.
okay if you smooth in like the cracks on like the edges like this if you want it to be sort
Yep, and if there's cracking, you're going to want to add some slip to it, okay? And we have these little cups here, too, of slip. We switched our cups. So you guys can have 2 of those per table, and they should be in the clay cupboard or around. Okay, and I have these same measurements on the board, but we're going to go from, on these metal ones, they go all the way to the edge. We're going to go 3 inches. We're doing 3 inches because then it'll line up to the top of your square, okay? We need to make 2 triangles. So we're going to go, and we're going to find the center. What would half of 3 be?
1.5.
1.5. Very good. So 1.5, we're going to make a little mark. And we're going to take that same number, 1.5, and we're going to go up 1.5 and make a mark, okay? So this mark, we're going to take where that mark is and line it up to the corner and draw a line there. Whoa. And then draw a line over here.
Will we have a roof? Like,
This is, yep, this is part of your roof, like that triangle part. If you have enough clay, like how I have all this room here, I've already got my 1.5, so I might as well do the other side as well. And remember, this is 1/4 of an inch thick again. And I want you guys to do it the way I'm showing you. Okay? So we're going to go halfway down again, and you can go all the way to the end if you want. And then go all the way through. And your clay, you can tell already, is a little bit stronger. It's already dried out a little bit.
so you have to have a slip to it a lot?
We will end up, I'll show you. Okay, so we get these cut out first. Okay, so you've got your 2 triangles. Then you're going to take your squares,
Add slip.
and will you hand me those tools and the slip? Thank you. So a lot of these, if you don't have combs inside, like some of these just seem to have more tools than other, and we can kind of share these tools with each table. Way down at the bottom, there should be some combs. And you're going to kind of rough this up. See how it's really rough? If you do something like this,
not gonna do anything.
no, that's not going to work. So that's going to slide around too much. Okay, then I'm going to take your slip and get some of the gushy stuff. So you do one side, you don't need to do both. You're going to place these together. So you've got your slip that acts like a glue.
Gushy.
Now you can either, I like to use a tool, and if sometimes you'll find that like maybe this wall is a little bit thicker or this top part, whichever one's thicker, you're just going to kind of blend it towards the other one. This one's pretty close to the same. So we're getting rid of that line so that people don't know, how did we put this together?
It's just like building a house.
Yeah.
It's because we
are
are
building
making a house.
Okay, then you're going to smooth it out with your finger. You probably don't need to add slip, but you can if you need to. That'll help smooth it as well. Okay. Okay, I'm also going to show you how to do the door. So you'll do that for 2 pieces, so you'll end up doing the same steps on this other one. Okay, then you're going to, for your door, you're going to kind of make a number 7. Except for your 7, we'll go straight down. Okay, so we draw it out first.
It does look like a 7.
If you make it really tall, your doors might be too big. The other thing is you don't want to get too close to the sides of your walls here.
So it's just gonna fall down.
So then we're going to kind of put this, yep, it would make it too weak. Okay. So then we're going to put one finger on the outside, one finger on the inside. Just going to slightly bend this. If it's having trouble bending or wants to crack, it needs slip. Means it needs more moisture in there. Okay? And then you can kind of smooth this out because any edges that are going to be coming up, you don't want it to dry that way because it could actually cut you.
So should
Okay.
we make the door before we put the walls together?
You want to put your triangles on first, and then you can do your door. You have to, as the assignment, you need to have at least one door. You can have more than one if you want. You can draw them as sliding doors. You can have 2 open doors if you want, but you have to do one the way that I showed you. The other thing is you need to have one. Now, I feel like these tools are dwindling. They're starting to be less and less, so we might need to share them. You can also use these that are kind of flat like this. You'll do one window.
Could you do more? Or just one?
Well, one the way that I show you. So I'm just kind of pressing this straight down. Okay?
That's a tiny window.
But then, but we're not done yet.
That's not the windows.
Okay? See how I'm leaving a pretty good space in between so it's not too skinny that it breaks?
That's cute.
I'll see.
Then,
You have to pop them out.
Get the window painted.
okay, so that's the frame on the inside.
Don't you
Okay.
guys get it?
You can do other windows if you want. Some people like that half circle window that's above your doors. Some people do 4 little windows that go across. But you do have to have one like this, the way that I showed you. And if you are going to put something above your door, you also have to smooth these out. You know, make it look nice. And then also, so it's nice and smooth on the front, then we want to blend this in on the back. If you go too close to the side here, it's going to get covered up by a coil that we do later, or it's going to be too weak. Same with, like, if you're going to add it to your door, don't put your window, like, way over here by the corner.
Could you put it in the middle right here or no? No,
That might be a little close over here. Like, maybe if you did one teeny tiny,
yeah.
but if you, you can do 4 little squares that go across. You could do one of those windows that are like this.
Do you have
Some people do these.
Can you show us one?
I'm not going to show them on here because these are actually Maddie's pieces. So anything that she wants to add creatively to her stuff, she can change those. I might have, actually I could show you on this one so you can kind of, is it a question that has to be answered right now?
I don't know, but I guess not.
Okay.
Never mind then.
Okay, let me finish and then I can answer your questions. Okay, so you could do 4 that go across or just little ones if you want. If you want the half circle ones that kind of ends up looking like a pie, you would go like this. I think it's kind of easier to... You gotta kind of poke it out.
It's like a watermelon.
So it would need to be bigger
It does.
than this.
To me, it does.
I didn't give myself enough room to kind of make it. So you want to have enough room, but then it kind of creates that, more triangle shape or pie, trivia pie type, like that, okay? The other thing is when we get into decorating, I'm just going to show you a few things. We won't decorate till probably tomorrow, the second half of tomorrow, because you'll put your walls up first. When it comes to like the windows and stuff, just so you guys can understand the look even more, this would be if you're going to do siding. Just kind of showing you some of these textures. You can also do bricks. In between. We'll probably get either halfway, depending on how far you get today. That would be bricks. If we wanted to have shutters, let's say, so if I were to take this, kind of bring this out, bring this down. Cut this out,
Oh,
like on the side of here.
on the windows.
You can either have them pop out, or you can have them go straight back. You'd have to put a little, kind of blend that in.
If you wanted to have like a log house, how would you do that? Like,
Log houses
like
take
that?
a lot of time. And remember, and you'd have to do really, really thin coils, because otherwise your house is going to get super duper heavy. And you would need to score and slip and put each little
That's cool.
one on.
That's what
And you could too kind of flatten these out a little bit too, make them a little bit wider.
Could you put stuff like around the door for like log cabin or
What kind of stuff?
like log cabin, like that kind of wood that you have right there? Could you put like around the door or something?
Yep, and you could also do if you wanted, let's say you took this texture and you did on your door, brick down at the bottom and then siding on the top. Or you could do brick at the bottom and then some wood. I'm going to show you one other texture and then I'm going to have you do your triangles, which remember the math is on the board. Have someone double check it. The other thing is you won't do I'm showing you the decorating now, but we won't do it till probably tomorrow because we're going to put your walls up. So once your triangles, doors, and windows are on, I'll do another demonstration on putting your walls up. Let me just grab one other texture for you. It's with aluminum foil. Excuse me.
Hi, Kyle. Hi. Seb is watching this. I know. I know.
Okay, so with your aluminum foil, you're not patting it down a ton, so it's very prickly. If you pat it down too much, it's not going to have as much of a texture. I'm going to roll this around. This is good for like bush or like leaves or trees kind of texture. You would just leave it. But how many of you know what stucco is?
I have no idea.
It's kind of like a cream color. It's more in Arizona, but if you just kind of flatten this out, it kind of changes that texture. So, and then the glaze kind of sinks into those little deeper spots, and a lot of times those will be a little darker, and then what's on the top will be a little bit lighter. Okay? So that's kind
How would
of
you do rock?
rock. You could either kind of cut out little different pieces like this, because that texture would work for that too, and then kind of place some. Or you could take little circles. And if you're going to add, so this would go for bushes as well, or rocks. So you make your circle. And then, see, this is starting to get dry. Put some moisture back in there. Roll it back up. Okay, it's easier to attach if you cut this in half than it is to have that the point, because it's still going to look round when you attach it. And every time we attach, we're going to want to score and slip and then kind of blend in the sides. So these could be really tiny rocks if you wanted to add, or you can make them bigger and add this texture to them, and that would be like a bush. Okay? Let's go ahead and get started with your extra and do your triangles. And then when you're ready, we will do a demonstration on putting